more common hospital function will move closer to patient and only few specialized function will be concentrated at other place. So telemedicine capabilities will be full. Now this telemedicine kiosk, you can connect with any of the remote areas of rural portion and see the video conferencing. And this is the kind of a thing which we are getting it. Now I'll show you about the medical education. How we are doing it, the similar thing in a medical education. Now just run the video. Here, this particular ortho case has been loaded in that tab, and you are focusing on some area where you wanted to show. You touch that, remaining portion you can just knock off so that you can concentrate and see the precise area what you are concerned with. Now this has been transmitted to all the people. There they can see this, along with this they will relate it with its CT and MRI images which is loaded on this, so that while educating they can tell, and then they can take a virtual knife and try to slice it, take it out and go through like what you do it in CT or MRI. So this is the way, somewhere it is being done. Children can be educated in the distant part. So this is the part of the medical education where we try to see where the experts are not available, how we can. Now this is, I already spoken to you, synergizing requirement of various stakeholders to design functional, cost-effective, patient-centric and staff-centric healthcare infrastructure with optimum utilization of available space. When we would see medical architecture, you have to see hospital with infrastructure, medical equipment and manpower. All put together only it works. Earlier you must have seen, building is built, it is like Bhoot Bangla, because staff is not there. Equipment is there, packet is not open because trained manpower is not there. So this has to have a comprehensive planning, otherwise better don't think of going ahead with any hospital planning or nursing home or any smaller or bigger. Think it comprehensively. Hospital projects are generally two types. Now I am just telling you some planning and designing aspect. Brownfield and greenfield. Brownfield is where the projects which are hospital which are existing but to be upgraded to the latest technology. And this is to be, again this I have told you, infrastructure, medical equipment, human resources and bulk services. Sometime what happens, we were constructing on EPC mode the Pondicherry hospital with super speciality and many more things. Then they realized by the time the hospital will be ready, there will not be enough power. Right now, the power has to be tapped from some 8 kilometers away. So you better make corrective measure right now, get this power so that when the hospital is complete, it is functional and operational. So bulk services are also equally important. Hospital location is, while selecting it is very important, whether geographical phenomena like is it earthquake prone or volcanic eruption, landslide, tsunami or hurricane or flooding. This is this is the hospital at Dhaka. You can see it, their flood level is quite high. This is in fact Apollo Hospital, and this is the way one decides the plinth level of a hospital. Now this is how the finished hospital looks like. Master planning. Everything which you want to do, first do the master planning and should have a planned zones. And future extension are shown in dotted line. Like this is one site which is actually the Jodhpur AIIMS has been built, and you can see this site, first zoning, you have an institutional and residential zone. In institutional you have a hospital zone, academic means medical college, and then services like your substation, AC plant room, generator set, etc. and green buffer between the residential. Now this is a layout plan of Bhopal. This is again a AIIMS. Here you could see the darker color and the lighter color. Lighter colors are how it has to grow in future, because hospital will always incrementally grow. So this is hospital zone, trauma center, services, Ayush, herbal garden, medical college, nursing college, auditorium, future, dental and hostel. This is the circulation which is to be seen, that public, private and student movement, and the patient entry should be taken note. So main architectural principle fundamental to planning modern hospital should be functional and rational, and specialty healthcare facilities in a hospital are merely referral facility. Now I'll now quickly breeze through because time is running out. I just want to cover up the indoor air quality. This is one set of thing where you have neurology, neurosurgery and one floor, neurology, IPD on one floor, and teaching one floor, and vertical core. And all the operation theatre ICUs are on one floor, SDU, and then the stack diagram, which is stacking at different floor what all is needed. And loose fit design, where we say adaptable and flexibility, plan to serve range of possibility so that a patient room can be converted into different part. Convert flexibility, low effort, time and cost, space can be converted to another use like a patient room with plumbing, gases and electrical system wall for future conversion to critical. Similarly, day space can be used for relatives meeting, refuge space during the fire, and the solarium. Solarium is where bed is dried. If it is bed is defecated, that is dried. And this is how you can see that solarium space and day space can be utilized in everywhere. Evacuation of patient can happen fast. Robust utility, expansion, upgrade facility should be always there. Then plug and play infrastructure. This is where whenever you want any additional thing, so horizontal and vertical circulation without disturbing them, you can have a pre-engineered structure which can be like wrap around gantries or over roofs, etc. And the building the information modeling helps you in coordinating the planning and commissioning and maintenance of the structure. Now, just environmental friendly green hospital, use non-conventional energy, wastewater management, eco-friendly recycled product, building management system to monitor and control, barrier-free environment, healing architecture, indoor environment quality, excellent feature that result in environment protection, harvesting and energy saving. This is how you can use grass paver, solar thermal, CO2 sensor, state-of-art HVAC, low volatile organic compound material, effect in lighting. You can use the recycled water to flushing, irrigation, cooling tower. And passive architecture, while planning you have to take a note how the shading devices are there. Then use of chandelier, like bringing the daylight, you have different methodology also besides getting the natural light. This is the wind tower cooling, and the advantage of green roofing in hospital helps you in insulation as well as, and the photovoltaic PV solar panel, then the rainwater harvesting. These are the things which, and this is the latest one, the pneumatic tube system, we do the waste management. And we bring it, reduce the building wear and tear, it maintains hygiene, keeps facility cleaner. So this is how it looks like. And the mandatory requirement is ECBC 2007 and Indian Green Building Council Gold rating or 3-star Griha rating, that is green rating for integrated habitat assessment. And evidence-based design, I'll just quickly finish this. This is for infection control and emergency preparedness. Evidence-based healthcare architecture creates safe therapeutic environment for patient care and encourages family involvement. It promotes efficient staff performance, restorative, and plan, design, and construct and operate, which promotes conducive healing environment for the people. Flexible, adaptable, and future ready. This is what they have seen. Reduce patient stress, reduce staff stress, improve safety, quality, increase operational efficiency, and cost saving. I'll skip, these are the few, this thing, like we have some finding where the eastern light has reduced much better comparative to the western side of light, and also how the medication errors can be improved with the good lighting, and particularly nurses who are doing shift duty, how these lights are going to helpful, and how these landscape, beautiful gardens and these spaces, this gives you a pleasant environment. A pediatric ward, instead of plain, it can be into different, this is how I was telling you, how a theatre also can be made. Here, I'll just show you, run the video. Here, entire this thing was not having, now here it doesn't run. Okay, forget about it. We can use it like a any kind of a theater kind of a feeling, and you get a windows feeling in that dead area. Chhod do. And this is the evidence-based ward design, how we wanted to do. Each room can face the window, and you can see the ward will be looking like this, where you can have a different kind of a. This is copper. Copper is antimicrobial. 80% of the touch surfaces are because of the copper we get the infection. So use copper for various activity, including your chair, grab bar, handrail, and no coating. And in fact, nowadays they go into the extent that even the scissor or the stethoscope or even the mouse, these are being used. So I think indoor air quality is a chapter which I have to take it up, but since you are shortage of time, so I won't be. हाँ हाँ अच्छा ठीक है, तब उसको रोक लेना. Because these are the 4 methods which we are talking about: pressurization, dilution, filtration, purification. We don't do purification, we only trap the pathogen by filtration. So I will be telling you what are the source of purification. Anyway, that is during panel discussion, we'll take it up.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. It's a lot of information about innovations and hospital design. I now invite Dr. Vivek Desai, Mr. Malhotra and Mr. Jayesh Dave for the panel discussion on smart hospitals. Perhaps we have already got a glimpse of smart hospitals, and I think you are going to build on that now.
Presentation बोल रहा था.
So I think, we've had a very lucid, and I know Dr. Chandrasekhar for many long years, and one day will be less if you want to gain. Is a walking encyclopedia as far as healthcare facilities design go. Is the only PhD in medical architecture in the country. Thank you so much, sir. The other end of the spectrum actually is a very young architect, like Dr. T.P. Singh said. Let me just introduce him a little bit more. So Jayesh actually is an architect trained out of Bombay. He was the project architect for Kokilaben Dhirubhai Ambani Hospital when the hospital was built. So he saw 700,000 square feet edifice coming up and the architectural challenges, which came with it. After that, he's now working with Fortis Healthcare as their architect, and Fortis is doing so many hospitals. So he probably will bring a perspective which will be very different than, not different, which will add to what sir has already spoken about. But let me begin with, Mr. Mohit. So Mohit, you saw, so Mohit, runs probably one of the fastest growing medtech companies in the country today. Stryker is not a new name. Stryker is, I think, ranked 300th in the Fortune 500, companies in the world. If I remember correctly, $9 billion US. I've had this yesterday, so I am quite fresh with the figures of, Stryker. But what is impressive about Stryker in India, and we could see the technology which Dr. Chandrasekhar rolled out, is that it has grown from, I think, a very minimal strength in the country to almost, I think, 800 plus kind of an employee strength. I think making you probably the 4th largest, medtech company after Philips, Siemens and GE, which have been the giants, as far as, which is quite amazing. So, we would like to hear a little bit about that story. But first is, what is your impression about what you saw and how medtech companies are generally viewing? I could see a lot of patient centricity, also doctor centricity, because he was trying to, show something where a surgeon was able to see another operation and give his, comment. And I think you also have presence in integrated ORs. I could see you, getting excited on seeing that. So what is your opinion about, how medtech companies are looking at, patient centricity as far as hospital engineering and design goes?
Thanks, Vivek, and first of all, thank you, Dr. Chandrasekhar. It was really eye-opening to see what you presented, very comprehensive, and like Vivek said, it'll take a long time for us to fully comprehend. It's very, for this audience and many more, compliments to you for presenting it so lucidly. So Stryker is 11.3 billion. We grow very fast, but not as fast as you think. Last year we closed in 2016 at 11.3 billion. We are amongst the leading companies across many, many sectors. Patient centricity is something that I would start, Vivek, with our mission. So our mission says, together with our customers, we are driven to make healthcare better. It's 11 words. Each one of us who works at Stryker proudly believes in it, and every product that we have aims to deliver a better outcome to a patient. Coming to integrated OR, I mean, I had a few slides, but they pale definitely in comparison. But if you could put that slide back up, it has an OR from 1800s and the current modern OT. I'm not going to talk about what it does. You covered it very effectively.
Is that a PowerPoint?
Yeah, there's a PowerPoint there. So I learned when I joined Stryker, I was new to devices. Why is it called an operation theater? And this is actually used to be a theater where students, so as we see drama, same used to happen with operations being run. We've come a long way since then. If we think about patient centricity, everything that a surgeon or a hospital is delivering is to make healthcare better. Companies like us step in to provide technology. We don't do healthcare, but we enable healthcare. So integrated OT, Dr. Chandrasekhar has spoken a lot about. Could you just flip through to the slide, which has the 1800 and the current?
This one.
Yes. So that's London in 1822. It's a real theater where people, students used to watch surgeries. Thank you. I'm not going to stick here, but if we come to, this is what a modern theater, which Dr. Chandrasekhar also talked about. So inside a modern theater, you showed many designs, and I could see some Stryker images as well. We have tried to figure out what can technology do. I mean, these are different types of, you already covered this very well, sir, so I'm not going there. One of the areas that I would cover is workflow, and this is actual data coming out of studies: productivity improvement, efficiency improvement, and safety. What integration does essentially is takes what a surgeon needs in terms of being efficient inside an OR. What a surgeon needs, he needs to see different images. He needs to have instant access without the mess of wires lying around him. So if done properly, you plan ahead and say, here is an orthopedic surgeon who's going to do procedures for joint replacement, trauma, or sports medicine. What is his data need? And the electronics behind is the smallest part. The biggest part is to understand the need of the surgeon. How does he want to see his image? Which data is important to him? We configure that, and the flip of a button, the surgeon walks in, and his OR is designed to deliver what he wants. No wires hanging around, less infections. No people tripping up, better for the surgeon. Faster because you don't have to clean up things. OR finishes, flip to a neurosurgeon's, again press a button, and the theater changes to a new setting. So that's what, very simply from my worldview, is what integration
Mohit,
does.
just to interrupt you there. So what actually changes in the theater, suppose from an orthopedics to a neurosurgeon? What will change?
Surgeon.
No, surgeon will change, but what in the theater will change?
A neurosurgeon is working on a different anatomy. They want different signals. All the signals are out there. An orthosurgeon is looking at something else, a cardiac at something else. What we have done, we have devices. So if you were a surgeon coming in, we'll say, Dr. Vivek Desai, neurosurgeon. This is how he wants to, we'll memorize this once into the system.
God save the patient, by the way.
And your OT staff knows you're coming in. They actually, if there were two Vivek Desais, they will look at your picture on the device and say, this is the Vivek Desai coming in, who's a neurosurgeon. All the settings go to the data you want, how you want the signals routed, what light settings. If you are using an insufflator as a GI surgeon, how much pressure you want in an insufflation. If you are going to do a bariatric surgery, what kind of insufflator pressure. So everything is integrated. So we have multiple options where the planner sits down with the surgeon and say, what are you going to do today? So these profiles are saved. Today, Dr. Desai is doing hernia. Dr. Desai hernia profile on, everything set. If you are a surgeon, you go inside an OR, you will hear yelling by the surgeon all the time. I can't see it, I can't do it. Because every surgeon has a different setting for instruments, lights, recording, all of this.
So
That's what
it's all
saving the time.
pre-programmed.
It's all programmed, customized to every
So that's
surgeon.
what saving the time.
That's what saving time. Actually, as soon as you save time in surgery, you reduce infection rates. It is proven. Less time in surgery, better infection rates and more
Yes, sir.
efficiency.
This data is US based or this is India?
This is a US based study. India is far away from what we see today. When, to you, sir, when we go and say we integrate theaters, oh, you make modular OTs. We don't make modular OTs. We make the smart OT, which makes you efficient, brings down infection rates, and makes your OT time faster.
So have you done something like this in India anywhere, and do you?
Sure. So we have 1 in 3 operation theaters in the US is Stryker. So that's the market we command in the one which is the most brutal in terms of what they expect. In India, we have about 70 integrated theaters across the country, including the prestigious institutions of AIIMS in Delhi, the trauma. Jayaprakash Narayan Trauma Center is an OT theater from Stryker. There is one in Lakeshore Hospital, which is the first OT integration we did in Kerala and Cochin. We did the HN Hospital in Mumbai, all the integrations done by
So
Stryker.
AIIMS or somewhere, have you seen this efficiency working in India as against US?
So I would say each of this system is identical to what we have in the US. We've seen the efficiency work in 2 cases. The surgeon is interested and the OT staff is trained. As soon as that happens, the efficiency flows.
Okay. I
We are
would
coming
also
up-
invite if anyone wants to ask. I think so. You were very vocal, when it was being said. So please feel free, all right, to question them. Sure.
Kindly answer my question. I'm a doctor. I'm Dr. Tilak.
So Dr. Tilak, what speciality?
I used to be Dean of Armed Forces Medical College
Okay.
and retired 16 years back.
Okay.
This is a very good innovation which I have seen and I have heard. Can it be customized for the patient's illness? Because now what problem is coming, you have customized the theater for the doctor. But have we got a method, right leg to be operated or a left leg to be operated? We have heard that a fracture was in the right leg and the fixation was done in the left
Sir,
leg.
do you have an answer to that, or I can?
Please go ahead. We have something, but doesn't directly answer his
Yeah.
question.
So sir, that I probably would not fit into. No, agreed, sir. But this technology probably won't help you in that. What he's trying to say is, say suppose how you buy a new car now, buy the E-Class or Mercedes Benz today. You just go there and you say 1, so that car seat will adjust to what I have. So what I've understood here is that you enter, you press that button, Dr. Tilak, and it will say the operation theatre table height should be so much. It will happen automatically. Believe me, when we do it today in hospitals, it takes at least 15 minutes to set the theatre.
You are not getting the whole point, sir. The person who is performing is a human being. And Suno, he is a human being. I am a surgeon myself, and a cancer surgeon and head of the Cancer Hospital, Vadodara. Suno, this integration is, this service is, so that this technology is at the service of the person who is at service of the patient. So once that patient mind is taken care of, Mr. Tilak, then the surgery is performed better and the results will be much better. Acha, if you give peace of mind in other way also, in rural setup also, a hernia or a brain surgery can be done. Because the man
So
behind,
I think I will.
I'll close it with the last thing. Checklist. Sir, last point, sir. Checklisting.
Sir, it will be
and
checklist approach. It cannot be helped
checklist
by
approach and the
technology.
human approach of
Technology
care.
cannot,
The
Can it not be a food for thought?
All right, okay.
Maybe,
Can it not
So-
be a
so-
food
Maybe.
for thought?
So maybe Stryker should take it as food for thought.
Kindly
Agreed.
Look at my age.
Sure, sir.
I am understanding what the surgeon is telling me.
Right.
I
So,
have 55 years of experience.
right. So he would have
I am
45.
giving you a food for thought.
So I'll give you a response to that, sir.
That
Yes.
mistakes do not take place.
I think mistakes and medical mistakes are well known. So if you read Dr. Atul Gawande, he talks about the checklist manifesto, which says exactly this. The number of errors made which can be avoided through checklist. It is actually very simple. Frankly, we'll be happy to devise any technology and make commerce out of it. Here, a simple checklist will perhaps serve the patients and the hospitals better. But I'll give you an example that Stryker has already done. Sponges getting left inside humans, common. You would not believe the number of errors.
Common.
We have a technology which counts the sponges and ensures that the sponge will not be left inside. So we have made some progress. We aren't there yet to solve every problem.
Please kindly understand my doubt.
Yes, sir. Point well taken. Point well taken.
I am not trying to find fault with what has happened.
Right.
You are giving an innovative.
Yeah, it is innovation.
Yes.
Please think of it.
All right. So let me just change track, let me just go from technology. Yeah, so I would like more people to speak out, okay? Are you sure you are not going to create another controversy?
No, sir.
All right.
Sir,
So
actually,
can
I
you
want to know.
just tell us your name and
My name is Dr. Ramesh from Bangalore. So I want to know this technology.
and
once
which
it
hospital,
reaches-
Ramesh, if I can ask?
No, actually, now insurance failed.
Okay.
In Bath as assistant manager.
Ah.
So actually, I want to know how economically it will support our Indian citizens, because once technology increases, automatically all costs are increasing instead of the giving benefit to the customer. So the customer has to bear more amount.
I think, he can surely answer that, I'm sure, but, let me answer on his behalf. You again, so this is about efficiency driving in, all right? So if you are able to save, I think you have some data on theatres, please, share that.
So many times we are accused that you are very expensive. So expensive is a very relative term.
Absolutely.
Our positioning, we are expensive, right? We are high priced value for money product. If you can understand this technology, and let's say in a year you can do 30 extra procedures in your OR, you can bring down your infection rates by 10%, and you can make your staff more efficient. If you count all this and put a value, and if you paid even a 10% of that value for buying the equipment, you will be paying us 5 times more than what we demand. Right? So you can now do the math and say, is it expensive or is it high priced value for money?
Right. So,
I'll just share the experience of government. It took us lot of time to make an integrated theatre. And the first integrated theatre when we made, we had a series of RTI and competition commission and everything. But if the higher official understood, the turnover is so fast, efficiency increases, infection rate goes down, they say now aims all 29 theatre you make integrated. I said, yeah, don't go either this side of the graph or that side. So now they have come to the rationale. Your question is very valid. Initially everybody thinks what is in my pocket and accordingly it does. But when you have a vision, then you can see how you can go. And integration goes step by step. It is not that you have to take the integration.
all right. Yeah, so I will come back to you because, we will otherwise lose time. I'll come back to you, ma'am, surely to you. So Jayesh, let us change a little bit of track from technology to something else.
Signages.
So one thing, which generally, especially if you have large format hospitals, including government or a campus like Symbiosis, I think signages is something which is not very, thought of kind of a thing as far as hospital design and engineering goes as of now. I know that you have a special, sort of liking or knowledge about it. So would you like to share, your experience both in Kokilabhen Ambani also? I think you did it for the Mumbai International Airport also while working with Mudra.
Yes. So, while we addressed all the other aspects, there is one critical aspect which comes in is the signage, is the circulation in the hospital. Once we have installed all the technology, the staff is there, the right team is there, the end satisfaction of the patient is the circulation, and which plays a major role. Probably it's an OPD patient or an inpatient. So, can we start with presentation?
Slide.
So usually we have already achieved a benchmark of signages. They are mostly like marketing signages or just boards in which we... yeah. I can hardly see it from the side. Yeah. So we usually have boards, probably we all would have seen that, which are all identification boards or branding boards, which is outside a hospital. Just when we entered here from Symbiosis, we had these boards at the higher level, the lower level, at the gates. All this usually happens, but there is a science behind it. Science behind it, especially when it comes to interiors and especially for patients. So this is a typical benchmark style of the various heights in which the patient or the attendants can be, and at what heights and sizes are the interior signages usually being installed in most of the hospitals at the moment. However, this can be modified, improvised as per every unique project. There are many projects which have a lot of challenges. In fact, the scale of it would be a challenge, the topography of it can be a challenge. As an example, when in 2002, when I was an intern architect, we were one of the architects who were competing for this project, Symbiosis in design. And the biggest challenge which we found was to put a signage in considering the topography and the locations. So similarly, in this aspect, in terms of healthcare, we have to understand what if an OPD floor is around 40,000 square feet and the incoming flow is only from one lift lobby, then how do you address it? Now this was a real scenario in, in one of my previous projects, which was Kokilaben Hospital. So you can look at it, it's around 10 lakh square feet. The lower floors are mostly the OPD floors, and the footfalls are higher because the lifts are only 4 lifts for all the OPD visitors. So when we look at this, we actually landed up visiting a lift lobby which more or less looks like this, and we were looking at thousands of footfalls coming at peak time and entering into this corridor, and then they were made to circle or circulate around 40,000 square feet area. Now this was a real big issue, and if we went the conventional way, then we landed up creating a signage like this. Now this is absolutely confusing. No one is interested to read it. No one is gonna go through it. Rather, they will keep on asking questions. This delays the whole process, and beyond that, it's the overall satisfaction of the visitor. They just find that they were lost on the floor. So with more practice-based research and actually experiencing, this was actually ideas came later once the hospital was commissioned, is when we came up with an idea, why not have flooring signages? So in this, you basically enter in, you decide your color, you choose where you have to go, and keep on following the tracks. This was a simple, innovative method which is still under process in this hospital, and this can be used in a number of other hospitals. In fact, it can be improvised in terms of interior materials. This was an add-on to it, but we can take this ahead further. Now, this is only one aspect of signage, but in terms of experience and efficiency, so if a patient has come out from one department, has to go back to the next department, he knows which color he has to follow, where the arrow is, where the circulation is, where every other department is, and it works well. So these are just a few other examples. Now I'll just, so unfortunately still, I believe that in hospitals or in our healthcare industry, we don't use signage to its optimum levels or in efficient levels. There is a lot integration we can do in terms of interior design. Just like we're integrating every other thing, like in OT and other things, why not integrate this in terms of a user, we're saying, as a visitor who's coming, so that they can just decide, choose, and efficiently flow in a hospital. Because then patient or an attendant is really not interested to be in a hospital as compared to a mall or something. So we need to give them that experience. Just the last slide, then we can take it. So the last slide is basically, this is what we landed up doing for the T2 airport in Bombay. If you look at below, it's actually the logo, Chhatrapati Shivaji International Terminal. And this logo was actually taken and converted into fenestrations. Obviously the budget was more, it is understood as the gate of Bombay. So we designed the signage. Again, in an airport, the signage, the idea is wayfinding. Everyone is looking for the signs, trying to reach to their destination. And the way it has been installed, if you just look at the pictures, the sizing, the location, the design, the form, the shape, the detail, even the location of lights, like the RCP and every other thing, even diffusers, air conditioning, the priority has been given to the signage, because the intent was that the passenger needs to follow the signage, which needs to go subconsciously to the passenger, or even an attendant in a hospital. We don't need many signages, we don't need a cluster of to confuse people. It has to work subconsciously. And nowadays we have started to incorporate it to a level in most of our new hospitals, but this has to be developed further and rather understood better so that we can improvise and give it uniquely to every project.
So before the question from audience, Dr. Chandrasekhar, are we using these kind of systems in public hospitals?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are using. In fact, whatever you have done in the flooring, this was first done in the Sher-e Kashmir hospital.
Okay.
And then what we developed, we found that flooring has a footfall and the problem of maintenance. We shifted it into the wall. And in the wall, we found the color tiles. Like you said, no,
Yes.
choosing the right material. Only problem comes in is, like a professional interior designer gets neatly done, here sometime you may not find, the concept is there, but the execution is little crude. That's the only difference. But lot of places we are done. Because once we started giving them, the first reaction from contractor, why to buy a small quantity, give me a one color and I'll just finish it off. I said it has some different meaning, but it is being done.
Is there any, braille, is it now necessary in hospitals?
Yes,
or?
yes, it is, braille is necessary, and now the lot of international norms have come in. That is why when we did the health facility guideline, along with that we have a Indian Public Health Standard, IPHS. Now we are again modifying to make sure, because obviously it is addressing right from sub-center, primary health center to this, but these are more common into the metros. The general areas, they have yet to get sensitized. We are finding it even during Commonwealth, when we did the in the bus stand or the thing, you will suddenly find that the tile is gone, there is a ditch, and somebody has dug and he put his electrical wire. The sensitivity has to come, but the things are in paper, at least.
So, what's your name, sir? I have not got your name.
I'm Dr. Hemant San, one simple question. Wherever you find these, all floors are shiny, and the falls are a very bad event in NABH and JCI. So what architects and experts are doing to have anti-skid floor? Because the shiny floors of the hospital and the staircases are liable to get patients to get falls.
So this is an anti-skid vitrified tile, and if you look at this signage which has been put, it has been strategically put at the edge of the corridor, and we are not expecting a lot of people, but yes, it's a valid point, and with the technology and the right materials, we can use this.
Take a vote.
But anti-skid tile, sir, you won't slip. You can ask
Take a vote,
of,
audience.
yeah.
Okay, wherever hospital you find the best tiles which are safe for the hospital, for the patient.
This is anti-skid.
See,
The old quotas.
No, so, doctor, I forgot your name. Doctor?
My name is not important.
अरे नहीं बाबा, वोट लेने का है ना, वोट लेने का है तो आपका नाम लेना पड़ेगा ना.
Hemant San from Baroda.
Yeah, so Dr. Hemant San from Baroda, what vote you want to take? That we should use tile or no?
How many hospitals have you seen where the flooring is safe for the patients? Flooring and staircase.
So those who feel, that most hospitals have safe flooring, please raise your hands. नहीं नहीं आपका पहले वोटिंग करते सर. So do you think that tiling in the hospital is unsafe? If yes, then please raise your hands. And how many you feel it's safe? Sir, safe ज़्यादा है. So I think anti-skid works, sir.
No.
So but still I will come back to Dr. Chandrasekhar to ask him what's his experience of.
See, no, unfortunately, what has happened over a period of time, people have not really given thought to this. You are right. I was specifically telling them when we were doing mother and child hospital, pregnant ladies are coming, your first sensitivity is in the ramp and all the flooring. And what is the problem? The anti-skid floor and maintenance, they have to go. Nowadays, we have found a solution. We have outsourced the maintenance and his responsibility. Anti-skid floors are being promoted. Now, grade 4 and group 4, group 5 tiles are being manufactured. It's all available. It's up to you that if you just want shiny thing and happening, and then this is the problem. That
All
is
right.
the
There is one more point to this. Even if we landed up having a shiny floor, just imagine if it was an Italian marble, which we have used. We use it in our projects. But the design detail is as if, so if you have a staircase, so we call it a thread in which a patient actually, or anyone who uses the staircase, there are grooves on it, which makes it non-slippery, but the material is there. So
All right,
this
so let's
detailing is
shift,
visible.
because Dr. TP Singh is already, so I have a chairman, I have a, track chairman, and then I am there. So, it's a pretty difficult task to handle that kind of situation. So, coming to you, Mohit, again, is, a lot has been said about Make in India, all right? What is your opinion? You come from a medtech company. So do you think that this is the right thing to happen, and are we ready, as yet, or is a long way to go? Will it help India? What's your view on that?
So I definitely think it's the right thing to happen for